Normally, power rankings come out on a Tuesday, but I have my schedule. You have yours. So let's jump into this. What is up, football fans? First power ranking of the season. I decided why not do it on the bye week, so we get the week 10 power ranking. It's kind of in the middle of the season. You kind of get a good idea of who is playing like what and all that good stuff. But before we jump into this, I have to announce the winner of the Miami Dolphins taking on the Dallas Cowboys at home. Tickets with the parking pass. Now, you seeing this, the winner was already announced. I already emailed them. But I'm showing you how it is done and how future stuff will be done. So essentially, the way it works is I put all your names in here. We have 1,114 names in here. A lot of you guys signed up. Which I'm couldn't be happier about. Like it made me very happy. A lot of you guys signed up. So it's just, I'm going to click spin, and the first name that pops up, boom, you're the winner. I will email you. As soon as you email me back, boom, you get the tickets, and enjoy your time on Christmas Eve. So let's, without further ado, let's click this button, and let's see who the winner of the giveaway tickets are. And it is Justin Sutherland. Congratulations. Hope you have a fantastic time. If you want, send me pictures of you at the game, and I will shout you out and enjoy your game. Let's jump into the power rankings. Like I said, this is my first time doing it this season. I tend to do it towards the middle of the season and then ride it through the rest of the way. Now, I'm only doing top 10. I'm not doing a full 32 power ranking. This video will be forever long. And speaking of being forever long, me and Omar Kelly got together. Put an hour video out earlier this morning. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. Also, it is on the podcast. It's the first video, audio I've put on the podcast in a long time. Podcast is linked in the description. I think it's on Spotify. I think it's DouglieDoWrong podcast. But if you're like, man, I don't feel like sitting here with YouTube while watching it, you can go check it out on the podcast. Go follow me there as well. So let's jump into this and go from 10 to 1. Let's start with some honorable mentions. This was hard for me, that's what she said, because there are a bunch of teams that are kind of clumped together when it comes to their record. Like 5-3. There's a lot. You got 5-3, 5-4-ish. There's a lot. Saints, Vikings, Bills, Seahawks, 49ers, Steelers, Cowboys, Browns, and Bengals are all 5-win-ish teams. Some of those people already had bye weeks. So like the 4 winners are the Bills, the Vikings, the Saints, and it's all convoluted. But for me, honorable mention I'm going to throw out there. I got the Bills. The Bills are still, they're a little bit of a slump, but I'm going to give them a little bit of a grace because they are dealing with massive amounts of injury on that defensive side of the ball. You got Seattle, who got stomped out by the Ravens. That, to me, is why they didn't make the top 10, because, geez Louise, did they get destroyed by the Ravens. And you have the Steelers, who beat the Titans, but are still kind of struggling a little bit. And I think that the teams that I have in the top 10 are a little bit better than the Steelers, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Buffalo Bills. Well, without further ado, let's get into this. The number 10 team in my top 10 power ranking is the San Francisco 49ers. I wanted to put them higher. I wanted to put them higher above some other teams, but these other teams that I'm looking at kind of beat them. And they're on a 3-game losing streak, and they're not looking too swift. No pun intended. It has nothing to do with them. Swift. I don't know why I said no pun intended. But I have them at number 10 because of the 3-game losing streak. And again, this is right now power rankings I'm going to do every week. The 3-game losing streak and the teams I have above them beat them. But I still think they're a good team. I think they'll bounce back. They made that crazy trade for Chase Young, which is going to make their defense better. But as of right now, I have them at number 10. Number 9, I have the Cleveland Browns. That defense is a top 10, top 5, number 3 defense. And again, Cleveland beat the 49ers, so that's why I have them above them. But they're also playing really well on defense. Now, offense is good, but it's not as good as their defense. And for me, that's why I have them kind of at number 9, is because of the way the offense is playing, but how good that the defense is playing. I still think they're a really good team. And that whole AFC North is going to be incredibly dangerous. They all got to face each other, so they're going to start knocking each other out of playoff contention. It's going to be really crazy there. Number 8, I was torn between 2 teams, but I went with one that had a huge win the week before, and last week came very close to beating a good team, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, they beat the crap out of the Rams 2 weeks ago, and last week they came very close to beating the Eagles. They're still a pretty good team, and again, I have them at that 8 spot because of they still have some problems in certain areas of their game, but I still like the way they're playing. I still like the way that their offense is playing and their defense. Parsons is just ridiculous. He tried his hardest to stop the tush push. He jumped over that pile and he tried his hardest to grab him and stop him. Couldn't do it, but I have the Cowboys at number 8. Number 7, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. They beat up on the Bills. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and they are playing really good football. Watching them play the Bills on Sunday night, and the way that Joe Burrow was just staying in that pocket. Jamar Chase had that back injury, but still stayed in there. They played well. They did allow the Bills almost to come back, and they are kind of fighting through a lot and playing hard-nosed football. Right now, they are scoring 155 points, but giving 162 points. So they are struggling a little bit there, and that's why I have them at number 7. But the way that they played against the Bills, and when push came to shove, they did what they needed to do. I like the way Cincinnati's playing, and they're definitely on the rise. Number 6 is the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Miami Dolphins have been fluctuating people's power rankings all season. At one point people had them at 1, at some points they had them at 3, and then 4, and then up and down, and it's because of the style they play. They beat the teams they're supposed to, they dominate on the teams they're supposed to, and then they lose to the good teams, they lose to the winning teams. And I'm noticing a trend. Obviously I'm a Dolphin fan, so I've noticed things more, but with the Bills, they lost by 14 plus points. By the Eagles, a little bit less, and then Kansas City by 7 points. And the Kansas City game, to me, was a lot of them beating themselves. The defense, and this is why I have them at 6, is the defense stepped up, held Travis Kelce to 14 points, held Patrick Mahomes to like 100 and something passing yards, held him to 14 points, 0 points scored in the second half. That's why I have them at 6 above Cincinnati, Cowboys, and Browns and 49ers, is because the defense, if they continue to play at that top level and the offense can figure out how to play how they do against the inferior teams, against the good defenses, Dolphins team is going to be dangerous. So I have them at number 6. Number 5 is the Detroit Lions, sitting there at 6-2, coming off a win. They're on a bye. They were on a bye, coming off a win against the Raiders. But before that, they kind of got beat pretty bad by the Ravens, and that's why I got them a little lower at number 5. But they're playing pretty well. Like I said, got that win against the Raiders going to the bye week. I like the way their defense is playing. I like the way that Goff is playing and the way that they fight and play. They're a really good team, and they're a team to look for. Obviously, I think they're going to win the North. That's, I think the team that's going to compete with them is the Vikings, but I don't think they have enough to beat up on Detroit to take the North. So I have Detroit at number 5. My number 4 team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are on a 5-game winning streak. Regardless if it's a tough, nail-biting win or if it's a blowout win, they are doing what they need to. A 5-game winning streak. They were at 1-2 at one point, and they fought through it. 5-game winning streak, 4-0 on the road. That's hard to do. That's why I have the Jaguars at number 4. My number 3 team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, they beat my Dolphins. They're still a good team. Super Bowl contenders, sitting there at 7-2. Still a very good team. There's not much more you could say about it, how they're playing, their defense. I think they're number 2 or tied for number 2 in the NFL with sacks and pressures. They're still a very good team. I have them at number 3. Number 2, this team has the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. They are getting dominating wins against good teams. Seattle's a good team. Detroit's a good team, and they destroyed both of those teams. They look like the front runner to win the North. They are playing at a high level. They got to continue playing at that high level. They are allowing 124 points. That might be the lowest in the NFL. And they're scoring 239 points. Now, not as high as the Dolphins, 285, but still, that margin is ridiculous. So that's why I got the Baltimore Ravens at number 2. And my number 1 team, obviously, is the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the only one-loss team in the NFL. They are coming close to losing more. I'll say that. The Washington Commanders gave them a fight, and the Dallas Cowboys gave them a fight. They're still the best team in the NFL, obviously sitting there at 8-1, but they gotta get their stuff together because another team's gonna come in there, knock them off. I think if the Ravens and the Eagles played like tomorrow, I think the Ravens win that game. The Ravens are so close to being number 1 for me. But I got to give credit where credit's due. 8-1. You are the best team in the league right now. But the Ravens are nipping at your heels. A 4-game winning streak. Watch out for them Ravens. But that's what I got for you guys. If you like the power rankings, give this video a thumbs up. The more views, the more thumbs up. Let me know, hey, I do like that. Keep doing your power rankings. And tomorrow will be the picks. And then this week, the Dolphins don't play. So I'm probably going to get you something special for Friday, and I'm still debating if I'm going to live stream the game maybe for a little bit. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. I fence up.